The old man casually dug a pot of soil. Then he placed it in the river and gently shook it. When it was almost filtered, he leaned in for a closer look, and to his surprise, he found 2 pieces of gold dust. The old man, who was just passing by and trying his luck, suddenly became interested. With years of experience, he determined that there might be a gold mine here. He quickly dug another pot of soil and shook it gently just like before, but this time not a single piece of gold came out. But he didn't get discouraged. He just made a mark and then dug another batch in the opposite direction. This time he sifted out 7 pieces of gold. Continuing forward, he found 12 pieces. But after that, the number of gold pieces started to decrease, until he could no longer find any gold. The old man, however, smiled happily because he had roughly figured out the direction of the gold vein. As long as he followed the marked path and kept digging, he would be able to find the location of the gold mine. It seemed like wealth was already beckoning to him, and his body was filled with energy. So in the following days, the old man began constantly digging pits and marking them. After 3 days of effort, he had pinpointed the exact location of the gold vein, and all that was left was to dig down into the earth. Another day passed, and the old man had dug a very deep pit. Although he didn't know how much longer he'd have to dig, he seemed full of confidence. For someone his age, digging pits was an incredibly tiring task, and after working all day, the old man had dug a pit that was already waist deep. Suddenly, he stopped his work. Though his hair was white, his eyes remained sharp. A gold nugget the size of a soybean made the old man feel as though he saw the dawn of victory. Soon he dug out a rock and broke it open with a hammer, revealing a large patch of gold inside. For this moment, everything was worth it. The old man was overwhelmed with excitement and quickly dug away the soil underneath, and a whole chunk of gold ore appeared in front of him. But at that moment, his smile froze. The shadow that had just flashed by, and he knew danger was approaching. The old man instinctively glanced at the small hammer next to him, and sure enough, a man was pointing a gun at him. With a gunshot, the old man fell motionless into the pit. However, the man did not shoot again, he just stared intensely at the old man in the pit. Blood quickly stained the old man's back. The man slowly crouched down, but his gun remained aimed at the old man. 5 minutes passed like this, and finally the man lowered his gun, pulled out a cigarette. He looked around, confirming that it was safe, and then calmly lit the cigarette. After the cigarette burned out, the man prepared to go down and clean up the scene. However, when he jumped into the pit, he was immediately subdued by the old man. It turned out that the old man who had been shot in the shoulder was not dead. He had enough patience, perhaps during the time the man didn't shoot again and chose to wait. He had already been planning this moment in secret. With his incredible willpower, the old man successfully turned the situation around. In the end, he filled a sack with gold ore and dragged the man into the pit. He hitched his little donkey and hummed a song as he left the place. The valley returned to its usual tranquility, as if the old man had never been there.